Imagine a man who spends his Sunday mornings at the local church, singing hymns and greeting his neighbors with a warm, genuine smile. He is a devoted husband, a protective father, and a leader in the Boy Scouts. In the quiet suburbs of Wichita, Kansas, Dennis Rader was the embodiment of the American dream, a man you would trust with your house keys. But as the sun set, that mask of sanity would slip. For 30 years, this man lived a parallel life so dark that it paralyzed an entire state with fear. He wasn't just a killer. He was a phantom who coined his own haunting title, BTK. He wanted you to know his name, but he never wanted you to see his face. He played a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with the FBI, taunting them with letters and poems while he stalked his next project from the shadows. The most terrifying part isn't what he did, but how long he got away with it. Tonight, we unmask the monster who hid in plain sight for 3 decades, and we look at the one fatal mistake, driven by pure, blind arrogance, that finally brought his reign of terror to a crashing halt. If you think you know who your neighbors are, this story might make you think twice. The horror began on a freezing January morning in 1974. The Otero family, 2 parents and 2 young children, were found bound and strangled inside their own home. There was no forced entry, no robbery, and seemingly no motive. The sheer brutality of the crime sent shockwaves through the community, but the killer was just getting started. Over the next decade, a pattern emerged. Women would return home to find their phone lines cut, and a man waiting in the darkness with a set of ligatures. He didn't just kill, he followed a ritual of binding, torturing, and killing, meticulously documenting his crimes like a twisted trophy hunter. By the late 1980s, the murders stopped, and the BTK killer became a local legend, a ghost story told to keep children inside after dark. But in 2004, after 14 years of silence, a local newspaper published an anniversary piece about the case. The article suggested that BTK was either dead or long gone. This was a direct hit to Dennis Rader's massive ego. He couldn't stand being forgotten. He began sending mysterious packages to the police, containing jewelry from his victims and taunting puzzles. His narcissism eventually blinded him to the world of modern technology. In a bizarre turn of events, he sent a letter to the police asking, "Can a floppy disk be traced? Be honest." The police, sensing their chance, lied and told him it was perfectly safe. Rader, trusting the authorities he had outsmarted for years, sent a purple 1.44 MB floppy disk to a local TV station. Within minutes of receiving it, forensic analysts pulled the metadata. It led them directly to the Christ Lutheran Church and a user named Dennis. When the police surrounded his vehicle on February 25, 2005, the suburban compliance officer was shocked. He truly believed he was smarter than the system. Dennis Rader wasn't caught by a genius detective. He was caught because his need for fame finally outweighed his need for freedom.